Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this September the 12th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Tuesday out there so far. Everybody has a great Tuesday afternoon. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the tropics here and also that cold front extending from southeast, which will continue to push on off to the southeast, and we have pleasant weather coming in behind that cold front, so it's going to feel more like fall toward the end of the week for everybody in the eastern portion of the United States. Plus, Lee's going to the eastern seaboard weather as well, because that's going to usher in some cooler weather across the entire East Coast, all the way down into Georgia, maybe even to northern Florida, and also Alabama and Mississippi may get in on some cooler temperatures as well, thanks to this cold front, plus Hurricane Lee, which will be funneling down some cooler air from the north down to the southeast. Okay. Also, we're going to take a look at some information on Tropical Storm Lee. Also, we're going to take a look at information on Margot. Also, the Watches, Warning, and Advisory map for your locating across the nation. And also, we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. And also for your Wednesday. Thursday, just general thunderstorms, so I ain't going to worry about showing that map. So, but anyway, I'm just going to show today and also Wednesday. Alright, if you're a new viewer and have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and consider subscribing. Love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos on social media, and get more people to follow me on my YouTube channel and subscribe to my page as well. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get on into the forecast now. And you can see here, here is Major Hurricane Lee, still having winds of 115 miles per hour at 11 a.m. We'll get to more of that. Also, here's Hurricane Margot spinning over the eastern tropical Atlantic. Looked kind of raggedy this afternoon. Here is Invest 97L, and this is behind it, which is 98L, but still expected to combine over the southern tropical Atlantic or central tropical Atlantic, and then continue to push on off to the west northwest. Alright, we got a few more waves we'll have to watch off the African coast later on. Here's a cold front extending just north of Lee, and also here's a cold front extending into the south central United States, extending from Canada all the way back down to Texas. Like I said, we got a little activity down into the Gulf of Mexico. Here's some activity over Central, also South America as well. It catches up and push it on out into probably toward the Cuba area and also toward the Bahamas as well. More day of warm temperatures here in the southeast, and then we're going to be cooling down in temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s down in the southeastern United States, with lows down in the 50s in some locations as well, maybe even the 40s. Maybe further north you go into portions of North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, you may be overnight lows in the 40s in y'all's region. So it's going to feel like a good fall air mass coming up later on this week. Alright, let's move on to some information now on Major Hurricane Lee. As you can see here, Lee has formed the eye once again a little bit there in the tropical Atlantic. You can see a little bit of an eye there. It looks pretty well healthy there. This afternoon on the satellite imagery, look pretty well healthy there. So Lee gained a little bit of strength there. But let's take a look at some information on. But it's not going to reach Category 4 status. It should be kind of hold its status for maybe one more day, and then it's going to start slowly weakening as we move into Wednesday and Thursday. All right. Here's a look at the forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center. Alright, as you can see here, here's the big wind field of Major Hurricane Lee. Here's the wind field of the Hurricane Force wind, the oranger color. They have already issued a tropical storm watch. I said they would in an earlier forecast that they probably will issue a tropical storm watch sometime later, earlier this week, and they did. So this will become a tropical storm warning sometime probably in the next few advisories to come. Alright. So according to this, the National Hurricane Center keeps it to Wednesday at 8 a.m. a major hurricane by tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Regular hurricane, category 2. And it remains just a regular hurricane all the way to Saturday, 8 a.m. It's going to pick up some forward speed from 8 a.m. Friday to 8 a.m. Saturday. It's going to kick up some speed. And also, it's good, according to the Hurricane Center, it's supposed to make landfall between Maine and the Nova Scotia region of Canada, right in the between there, in this little area right here. So Maine, like I said, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, you may get into some possible tropical storm force winds. Also may even get some rainfall off of this system. And plus, while this system travels up the East Coast, it's going to continue to start funneling down cooler air down the East Coast. So it's going to feel pretty fall-like over the eastern portion of the United States. Alright, we're tracking this system at home. It's located in latitude 24.3 north, longitude 65.9 west, excuse me. Maximum sustained winds are 115 miles an hour with higher gusts. Still remains a major hurricane with winds above 110 miles per hour. Right now, movement is to the west-northwest at 6 miles per hour, and that will continue until tomorrow, and then it will start turning due north, just as predicted. Alright, let's take a look at the computer model runs here, and then the SpaghettiOs, they call it. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the SpaghettiOs, and then we're going to take a look at the intensity guidance of the storm. Alright, here's the current position of the storm. Keep well compacted all the way. There's Bermuda right here to the right where I got my magnifying glass. Most of the models keeping it straight. A couple of them just trying to turn it into Maine. I noticed this afternoon looked like the computer model shifted a little more to the east. The GFS got it going this way. The European keeps it going into this way, kind of with these with the H-Wharf computer model runs. They want to make a landfall in Maine. We'll still have to keep a close eye on that, excuse me. But anyway, I'm expecting it still maybe make a little shift to the west still, and somewhere in the middle here, about like what the Hurricane Center is predicting, maybe a little bit further to the west there. But it's going to be pretty close in this vicinity where it's going to make landfall as a strong tropical storm. It's going to weaken down pretty much to a tropical storm anyway. Alright, now here's a look at the intensity guidance of the storm. As you can see, it's got about 100 knot winds, equal up to 115 miles per hour. All the models now keeping it into a category 3 hurricane. Some of them is dropping it down to a category 2. Bunch of them is. Over the next 24 to 36 hours. That's why the National Hurricane Center is expecting, that's why they got the H for a hurricane in that map, for it to drop down to a hurricane and then tropical storm by, I said, about 84 to 132 hours out, it will be a tropical storm. Alright, that's the information on Major Hurricane Lee. I'll have more tonight on it as well. Alright, now let's take a look at Hurricane Margot. Here we go. Hurricane Margot looked kind of raggedy this afternoon. It's got an eye here. Got most of the activity to the west and southwest of the center in that last frame. Look, you can tell Margot should be beginning to start weakening soon, and a lot of dry air is starting to punch into the system, and it should weaken or just remain a weak hurricane. But I would not be surprised to see it weaken back to a tropical storm, probably in maybe not too much longer in its near future. Alright, let's take a look at some information from the National Hurricane Center. We're going to take a look at the forecast cone when we get to it. Okay. Okay, here it is right here. Here's the tropical storm force winds, a big large system. Also here is the hurricane force wind right behind the X, 3 p.m. this afternoon. It still remains an 85 miles per hour storm. According to the Hurricane Center, they got it a hurricane all the way through Friday 12 p.m. Then by over the weekend, it's going to become a tropical storm. I would not be surprised to see it drop back to a tropical storm. Maybe in the next few advisories. If that dry air continues to punch into the system, there's a possibility they could drop it back to a tropical storm. Alrighty. Well, anyway, if you're plotting this system at home, it's located in latitude 30.2 north, longitude 39.4 west. Maximum sustained winds are near 85 miles an hour with higher gusts, and movement is to the north at 12 miles per hour. Alrighty, still classified as a hurricane with winds of 74 to 110 miles per hour. Alright, let's take a look at the spaghetti. Most of them keeps it up here, want to sag it off to the northeast. One wants to make a loop, but that's the outlier. But anyway, here's another one. Two look like it wants to take it out this way and come, like it won't go this, shoot it over this way and then go that way, and then one wants to shoot it this way. So it's all in different directions, but anyway, it's going to remain a fish storm, so we ain't going to have to worry about Margot. I figured probably early next week we'll be not even worried about talking about Margot as well. Alright, let's take a look at the intensity guidance. As right now it has 75 knot winds. That's what equals up to 85 miles per hour. See, some of them do try to, one or two models keep them to try to take it to a weak category 2. I don't think so. Should remain a category 1, but like I say, it may drop off into a tropical storm per one of these models here. So, but I would not be surprised to see that. But that's the latest on that right now. All right. Now, we're going to move on to the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location. That was your tropical update. Now it's back to the lower 48. Alright, as you can see here, tropical storm warnings in the Atlantic. Also here we still have a beach hazard statements for a portion of New York State all the way over to portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin region. Flood advisory for portions of Connecticut, also down in the portion of the Boston area. Coastal flood advisory for Carolina coastal areas. Air quality alert, special weather statement for South Texas. Flood watches in effect for portions of New Mexico, and frost advisories are in effect for northern Wisconsin and northeastern portions of Minnesota. Alright, Alaska looks good. The Hawaiian Chain Islands, central north looks good. South side looks good. Just fits a few gale warnings on the south side of the island. Alright, Storm Prediction Center time. Here we go, folks. Alright, you can see here we got general thunderstorm from New York State all the way down to the Florida Key, back to Louisiana. Also we're reporting Wisconsin, northern Illinois, through Iowa, portion of Minnesota, also into Montana. Also again over in portion of Iowa, down into California, down into Texas. We have a marginal risk in portion of Arizona, into New Mexico, also into much of Florida and southern Georgia. Also extended from Pennsylvania into the Carolinas, North Georgia, and northeast Alabama for this afternoon. Alright, if you live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Phoenix, Arizona, Jacksonville, Florida, Baltimore, Maryland, Charlotte, North Carolina, marginal risk for the severe weather this afternoon. Tornado probability, 2% up here in Pennsylvania and the Washington, D.C. area. This includes Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Arlington, Virginia, and Alexandria, Virginia. 2 winds, 5%. Let's take a look at the hail probability. 5% pretty much, but we'll go ahead and call them out. Alright, this is damaging wind area. This includes Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Phoenix, Arizona, Jacksonville, Florida, Baltimore, Maryland, Charlotte, North Carolina. And the hail probability, 5% in brown. This includes Phoenix, Arizona, Jacksonville, Florida, Tucson, Arizona, Mesa, Arizona, and Glendale, Arizona for a large hail this afternoon. Let's take a look at tomorrow's forecast, and then we're going to wrap up the video. Okay. Alright, we got general thunderstorm from Maine down to the Florida Keys, to the Carolinas, back to Texas, all the way back to New Mexico and Arizona. Portion of California to New Mexico, all the way up to Montana. Only marginal risk area we have is portion of New Mexico and also West Texas, and also up here around the Connecticut region, and also into Boston and Massachusetts region as well. And if you live in Providence, Rhode Island, Worcester, Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and New Haven, Connecticut, marginal risk for severe weather on your Wednesday. 2% tornado risk up here to the northeast. This includes Providence, Rhode Island, Worcester, Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and New Haven, Connecticut. Damaging winds, and let's see, large hail. Okay, damaging winds is Providence, Rhode Island, Worcester, Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and New Haven, Connecticut. The hail probability for tomorrow is for Roswell, New Mexico, Clovis, New Mexico, Hobbs, New Mexico, Carlsbad, New Mexico, and Porteo, New Mexico. Alrighty, well that wraps up today's video. Hope everybody enjoys it. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well. Consider subscribing if you have not. Like these videos, share these videos. Also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. And we'll catch you back in the next video. So have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday afternoon, folks.